Thank you. Hi, my name is Cara, and I'm from New York and grateful to participate in this. I was in one of the earlier meetings, went off and did a bunch of things and just came back. Um, and I just want to, so I don't know what's happened between step one and step six, but I just want to say that today is June 19th, and I just want to acknowledge it as Juneteenth. And I know there are people who would say that's an outside issue and it's not appropriate for you to mention that here. But I just want to say that, our focus is money and getting, and I feel that I was at a Black and DA marathon that was really amazing. And I feel that when it comes to money and debting, racism has had an incredible impact on that for many people, which is not good. And I think we all need to be aware of. And so I just want to acknowledge that today is Juneteenth. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, step six. We're entirely ready to have God remove all of these defects of character. So the first thing that I want to say is one of the things that's really helped me a great deal is to think of so character defects is the way that the step is written. And over time and many years in recovery, I've been in DA since December 1993. Um, um, if it helps you, you can also think of it as character defenses, character difficulties, character differences. So if defects works for you, then run with it. But if that's blocking you from being open to this step, there are other alternatives for the word defenses. Oh, I mean, like defenses. I like character defenses. That works for me the most because I feel like underneath most of my character defenses is a fear of being vulnerable and a fear of being seen. And so I'm like blocking myself, I'm defending myself, while, anyway, like that. Okay, I just want to change this to gallery view so I can see everybody. There we go. So what's interesting about this step, and I will say the way it's written in the DA 12 and 12 is a little bit different than the way it's written in the AA 12 and 12, and they're both valuable in different ways. But, it says, we were entirely ready to remove all these defects of character. That's a pretty tall order, right? That's kind of intense. Entirely, all, really? Well, yes and no, right? And so I think the thing that we came into any particular room, and in this case, it's DA, it's money, it's debting, it might be under earning. I think that if you look at the way the AA thing that brought you into the room, the thing that's going to kill you, the thing that's fatal, you need to deal with that as, all entirely. But then there are a lot of other character defenses that where it's progress, not perfection. And the whole thing about step six is that it's so important to make a beginning. In step three, we hear willingness is the key that opens the door. And willingness is again the issue with step six. How willing am I to aspire, to have my goal, to have my intention be that I am entirely ready to remove, have God, not me, my higher power, whatever, however I choose to define that for myself. It could be Mickey Mouse, whatever works for you. Take what you like and leave the rest. But if it works for you, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what any other human being thinks of your version of your higher power. It needs to work for you. And it could be fluid. It could be changing. I have this like Buddha statue that I put here today because that works for me today. But on another day, it might be something else, and you can, if you don't want to see it, put your hand in front of the screen and you don't have to look at it. So it's like, one of the things that's so powerful about all these 12-step programs, which I have profound gratitude for, is it's a create your own party, it's a make your own program. I mean, it's take what you like and leave the rest is what I'm saying. And we do walk in the footsteps of the person before us, and we learn from each other. And the more willing we are, the more we will receive. But, so my experience, so I'm going to take two of my character defects, impatience and obsession. All right. I'm very impatient and I really have a mashugana obsessive mind, especially in the middle of the night when I can't sleep, which has been happening recently. Menopause doesn't help. But anyway, another outside issue. Okay. So some of you understand that. Um, Impatience and obsession. I am a very impatient person, and I used to
Share
have a
5 minutes.
thank you so much, a really obsessive mind. And I recently went through it just ended about a month ago, a very intense step study workshop based on fear of success. And I feel like my impatience has really like it's been lifted. I'm not nearly as impatient as I was even just a month ago. It's remarkable. Now, I'm not perfect, and if you ask my husband, he may have something different to tell you about that, but this is my experience of my own character defect. And I realized as I was writing some things in preparation for talking that obsession has really been lifted from me tremendously. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I never obsess about anything anymore. I mean, I do a little bit once in a while, but it's like 10% of what it used to be. It's just a tremendous radical difference. And I just can't express deeply enough how profoundly grateful I am, even to just have those two taken from me to the extent that they have been. It's just an incredible relief. And so the other thing I wanted to say is in terms of step 6, and this of course comes from working 4 and 5, know your own character defects. Keep a list, look at them, review them. Oh yeah, I forgot that I'm a perfectionist. I don't know how I could forget that, but so let me just chill out a little bit here. And the hallmark of every addict, every disease underneath all of them, whatever your flavor is an inability to sit with discomfort, an inability to just be still and be like, wow, I'm really uncomfortable now. This bill is due. It's a lot of money. Let's say it's taxes, for example. I don't want to pay it. I'm afraid. Take a deep breath, say a prayer. I have the money. I actually have the money to pay for it, which is today's miracle, but I'm afraid to let it go. And it's the inability to sit with discomfort. So I'm going to feel my feelings. Maybe I'm going to make a phone call about it. I'm going to turn it over. I like to say I put everything into God's beautiful golden hands. That's the image that works for me. And the hands could hold the entire earth and all 7 or 8 billion of us on the earth. They are that big and they are never overwhelmed like I am. I get overwhelmed. That's another one of my character defects. But my version of God's beautiful golden hands never gets overwhelmed. It's big enough for all of us and all of our craziness. And so turn it over, make a phone call, and pay the bill. Even though I'm uncomfortable, I pay it anyway. And that's how I stay solvent, one day at a time, like beads in a necklace. I just string one action and another action and another action and another action together. And eventually, over time, I have this beautiful necklace that I can wear with all my positive actions. There is no positive action too small. No positive action too small. Anything you do that's a good thing is good. That was really profound, wasn't it? Anyway, know your character defects, and then also know your character assets too, right? Because this is about balance. But the most important part of this step is that it's entirely ready to have God remove these defects of character. We can't do it ourselves. We're powerless. That's why we're here to begin with. That's what brought us in here. That's in a lot of ways what keeps me in here. I mean, I've been in these rooms since 1993. That's a really long time. And I'm tremendously better one day at a time now than I was then, but I'm not perfect yet, and I still struggle. Like, I wrote piss poor preparation. That's one of my character defects. Like, I move quick and I'm out there and I can do lots of things and I'm a workaholic and I can juggle and multitask, which is not always good for me. Sometimes it is good and sometimes it's not.
Share
But
1 minute.
thank you so much. I mean, one of the things that's hardest for me is to get quiet and still and to do my numbers and to, wash the dish and to make the bed and to brush the teeth and to just do all of the different things, open Quicken, balance my bank statements. It's really boring. I don't want to do it. I still resist it after 28 years in this program. I resist it, but it's okay that I resist it as long as I turn it over, you know, and I'm willing one day at a time to sit and do it, even though it makes me uncomfortable. I do it anyway, because then it gets easier, and that's how I get through it. So character defenses, difficulties, differences, if you don't like the word defects, entirely and all are ideals, their goals, their aspirations, their intentions. Pick your biggest character defects, the ones that are going to kill you, and commit to it entirely and all. The rest of them are lifelong. It's progress, not perfection with step 6. Know your own character defects. Be clear about them. Thank you. And always remember, it's God doing for me what I could not do for myself. And that's what this step is all about. Thank you.